because we don't want to ziyada. Say the letters of ziyada because it doesn't translate the same. It's not the excess letters. Hal fi ziyada? Okay. It doesn't mean excess. What it means are the letters that are not aslan. The letters that are not aslan, foundational or root letters. We understand that? The other thing that we have to learn in studying sarf is what the fa, the ayn, and the lam mean of a word. The lam of a word. You with me? Does that make sense? These are foundational prerequisite to understandings that you have to follow when you're studying a word. This doesn't mean that other things you don't have to do. But these are the things you have to look for. So when I say, what is the, excuse me, Ati, can I erase this? When I say, what is the fa of the letter, what am I talking about? What's that?
The beginning root letter.
So the first letter. So the beginning, the first letter, that's root. So this, we have to understand this construction. Fa'ala. Everybody say that. Fa'ala. So we have to understand that the Arabs use this construction, fa'ala, to describe every letter. Every word. Fa'ala. So if the word is nasara, they use fa'ala. So how do you mean they use fa'ala? What is the ayn of the letter?
The ayn of the letter is sad.
Is the sad. This is called the ayn of the letter. Why? Because in the construction fa'ala, the ayn is the middle radical, the middle letter. So every time you want to talk about the second or the middle root letter, you have to call it the ayn of that word. If you ever want to talk about the first letter in the root word, you call it the fa of that letter, fa of that word. If you ever want to talk about the third root or the last letter in that root word, you call it the lam of that word. And that's how you describe every word in Arabic. So even if you have the word Rabb, what's the ayn of the letter? Ba. What's the lam of the letter? Ba. Why? Because this little thing right here, this little thing that looks like a W, what does it mean? Shadda or shidda. To strengthen. So it means that there's not Rabb, but it's Rabbaba. Rabbaba. So the three letters would be 1, 2, 3, or the fa, the ayn, and the lam of the letter, of the word. Every time I say letter, I mean word. So if I keep saying that, catch me, okay? Everybody follow me with that? Okay. If that's understood, we can get started. That was your review. Do I have any questions? You guys want to raise the word? Somebody, what you guys want to do first? You want to do master letters or you want to do al-ajrumiyya? I can't hear you. Yes?
Usually you take the letters.
Master letters first. So I'll go master letters first. I'll keep with that sunnah. What did you say, young lady? What does it mean by the shape of the letters? Okay. Alhamdulillah. Sit down, boys. Ijilsu. Ijilsu. The question is, what do I mean by the shape of the word, not the shape of the letters? Okay? I meant to say the shape of the word. Okay. Sorry? Okay, I'll explain. The shape of the word means that in Arabic there are 36 different types of words. Okay? 36 different types. When I talk about types, I'm talking about shapes. I mean by here shapes. And each shape means something different. For example, when you have a word that is on the scale of fa'ula. Everybody say that. Fa'ula. Fa'ula. This is the shape of the word. What do I mean? It has a dhamma on the ain of the word. What does the word mean in Arabic? Kalima. So I don't have to use word anymore, right? Everybody knows that. So I can say ainul kalima. So on the ain of the kalima, it is a dhamma. Whenever a word is shaped with the ain of the kalima having a dhamma, then that word, this shape, means that this thing right here, is something dealing with character. Even if you don't know what the word means, it's dealing with character. It's something that is permanent and doesn't change so quickly or at all. You understand that? It means that in the mudari', because we went over this before, we said there are three, at least at this beginning stage, three types of verbs, or fi'lun, right? Af'al, if you want to say. Seven types of verbs, action words. There is a order, right, which is called an amr, immediate, deals with the immediate time. There is a past tense, a maldi, okay, fi'l maldi, and we have what was called the mudari', which means literally just like the asma, but it implies the present tense going into the future words. So when we mention mudari', we're mentioning something that's in the present tense going in the future. Whenever it's fa'ula, it has to be what? Yaf'ulu. It has to be fa'ula yaf'ulu. Say that. And this is the objective with studying this is sunul lisan, is making your tongue really good for making mistakes. Whenever you see a word that's fa'ula, it has to be yaf'ulu. وَلَمْ يَأْتِ عَلَى غَيْرِ ذَلِكَ قَطْ. And it don't come like that in any other way. It can never be fa'ula yaf'alu. Never, ever, ever. This is an Arabic principle. And the word is always going to tadullu. It's always going to point to and mean something dealing with character. Like karuma, wa sharufa, wa dharufa. These words come in those type of meanings. That's what I mean by the shape. And that's one. So now we're down to 35. And we'll go over each one. Then you have a word that comes on the scale of fa'ila. Fa'ila. Okay? Fa'ila. With the ain of the kalima has a kasra. And this word always comes for the, now there's two things we learn here. Again, we learn the minhaj. Now I'm back on the minhaj side, right? On the minhaj side, we're learning a principle here because there's certain things we're learning. Minhaj of darasa, the way, the style to learn, is that, I forgot my point. Astaghfirullah al-azim. Okay, I forgot my point was what I was going to say about minhaj. But the point here is with fa'ila, whenever the ain of the kalima comes with a kasra, now this word is going to be, oh, yeah, I remember my point when I get ready to write, subhanAllah, is that when we learn a rule, we learn the rule first. Rules first. Say that. Rules first. Memorize the rule. State this is the rule. Affirm with conviction this is the rule. And then after you have established that the rule is in your head, then we memorize. What do we memorize next? The exception to the rule. You understand that? That's our way. We learn the rule. We don't argue about, well, I heard it like this, I heard it like that, blah, blah, blah. That's later. Ain't no argument to that. We're not going to say every rule is solid. If this solid rule, like this fa'ula yafulu, it don't come no other way. Period. I can say that. But other times it may not be exactly like that, but we say 90% or 80% of the time it's like this. So we learn the rule and then memorize the exception. Okay? After learning and establishing with conviction what the rule is. Does everybody follow me with that? Does that make sense? Okay, so for fa'ila, say fa'ila. The rule is that it's I'm putting this down up here. Yaf'alu. Fa'ila yaf'alu. What is it? Fa'ila yaf'alu. That's the rule. You see, this is sarf. This is talking about the shape of the word, and we're talking about what we know from that word. And this means that this fa'ila, every word that comes on a scale of fa'ila is something that goes and comes. What does that mean? Goes and comes.